Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Hey besties, hey. Happy Monday. It is National Nap Day, and that's exactly what I'm going to do when I get off here. But first, we got to talk about Married to Medicine Season 12, Episode 13, Couples Therapy and Paradise Problems. What? I thought this episode was good. It deserved a more positive title, but we'll get into it because we got to get into it. So, the episode pretty much continues from last week where Eugene is talking to Damon about his wife. So, we were left to think that maybe they would kind of get into a two-piece, a 1-2, a 1-2. But Eugene says, he cannot be friends with this version of Damon because he's blowing off Heavenly's bad behavior. And Eugene is really trying to be masculine. He's trying to be a gentleman. He's trying not to argue with women because that would make him look sassy, zesty, spicy, right? And we understand that. But we learn later on in this episode why Damon's behavior is different. And he makes it very, very clear. And I like that for Damon because he's kind of mysterious. He leaves us with some mystique, but he's so calm and collected, and he's a communicator, and he just knows how to talk without having any bass in his voice. He can get his point across very lightly and calmly. And that makes it to where you really don't want no beef with him because he knows how to shut you down. And he means it. I think he has a good heart. He's nice. It's just something sweet about Dr. Damon. He's just a good guy, and Heavenly should be very, very, and I believe she's thankful. I think she knows what she has. She just crazy and needs to seek therapy for herself from her childhood, and man, God bless him that he has to deal with her. But I'm sure there's different layers of Heavenly, and he don't deal with what we see on TV. I'm very sure that's not who he deals with. Elaine knows how to be a wife. She knows how to submit to him. They're great. That's Heavenly's real name is Elaine. So Keen is like, I think the ladies can handle their own drama. Let's let them work that out because we're not trying to be sassy. We're here to have fun. So let's have some fun, guys. So the fun begins. So Curtis goes around because he wants to get business taken care of first. He said him and Jackie talked about this gala and who's going to contribute. So he's like, who's contributing to this gala? Because that's what the issue is the money. We need the contributions. So who's giving up some Skrilla? So everyone is like me, my household, I am, we are, we did, of course, except for Steve. Scratch. What? Steve is like, I'm going to say what hasn't been said. Excuse me, y'all. Why my voice do that? I'm going to say what needs to be said. Okay? I'm not giving up nothing. Okay? Number one, I have scholarships going out to the Morehouse of Medicine. Morehouse College, the all men's school in Atlanta. He has a scholarship with them. That's where his money is going. But in addition to that, he is riding with his wife. Dr. Mimi is feeling some kind of way that Toya left her out of the gala. It's like she's not in, she don't know what's going on. Her nor Brandy Does Angel know about it? Did Angel know? I can't remember. But it seemed like the newbies didn't know about it. And then Mimi said in her flashback, she let us know, well, baby, I'm not new. This is my second season. I was new last season. So why am I being treated like I'm a Brandy or an Angel? No, I can't get down with that. I can't go for that. Shout out to Hall & Oates. So the husband is like, I got to ride with my wife because she feels disrespected. Okay. But they say they're going to come to the gala, but they will not be donating. So you know what's up. Remember, Steve bought a $5,000 bowl. Remember that last year, y'all? The bowl was supposed to be some kind of something of another, but it looked like it wasn't nothing of a nothing. That was like, yeah, they calling it a woo wop. Oh wait, what's the movie? Bobby Brown and Lynn Whitfield. Thin Line Between Love and Hate. They was calling it a, what was that bowl called? Something French. Was it called My Lalique? Wasn't that what it was called, besties? This is the Lalique. They was trying to convince Mimi and Steve that they was buying a $5,000 Lalique. And they was like, nah, this ain't nothing but a bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and put my oatmeal in it, okay? So I'm sitting here like, how are you gonna come to a gala that is definitely a fundraiser and you're not gonna donate? But then you don't need to come. You don't need to come. You don't need to get pictures. You don't need to drink. You don't need to eat. You don't need to participate. You don't need to laugh at the entertainment. And you don't need to dance. What do you mean you're not gonna donate? You're not gonna donate nothing? Not a little $200. They only want $2,500. Oh, so let me guess. You on that quad train. Since we donated 5,000 last year, we good for this year. Say that then. Let us know. Because, honey, in the previews for next week, you're gonna get confronted by that. Isn't Dr. Heavenly got? Don't she gonna have? Ain't she gonna have something to say, child? Because she ain't never short of no words. Okay. So meanwhile, the men are chilling, sitting out, enjoying the sun, the view. I think they're at the beach. Child, they getting their drinks on, they talking. So now the ladies, they're on the rafts, and now it's time for them to get their limestone leg massages, honey. Yeah. Uh-huh. Then they switch to the men. Now here comes some Jamaican women, some Jamaica funk, some bad mama jammas. Here they come talking about massage men massages. Anybody want massages? Well, we all know Eugene and Toya set that up. We already know. Toya says she gonna get them, and Eugene said, well, me and the men gonna get massages too. So they came up. They're like, anybody want a massage? Everybody quiet at first, right? Because they all trying to see who gonna say something first. Well, honey, guess who said something first? You're not surprised. Curtis, Mr. Cheater, Mr. International Cheater. Hello, Cliff over there at Bell Collective. Also, I guess there's this thing with men where they feel like if they, do the hanky and the panky out of the country, it's not considered cheating. I can't remember when this came to play. It came either from a black movie from the 90s, a song from the 90s, but this little cliche has been around for a while, okay? So Mr. Cheater, Mr. International Cheater, because, Curtis spent a lot of time in the DR, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, oh, I'll take one. He had no problem. Nope. He is... Okay, he is who he is. Okay, so here go King. I'll take a leg massage. Child Scott that took his shirt off and he laying out on the chair. They're like, you didn't got naked for it. He was like, check this out. My shoulder been hurting me for 2 weeks. I need this massage. I ain't mad at you, Scott, because baby, when you in pain, you in pain. and it helps when some other hands are working on you. Okay, so they're all getting leg massages except for Steve. He's sitting there in his clothes. He ain't budged. He eating fruit or whatever. He was like, "Yeah, whoever need a couch tonight, just let me know." I'm like, "Chow, what happens in Jamaica stays in Jamaica, Steve." Okay. So the ladies are having girl talk. I love this. This is what we want to see. This episode is why we like reality. Y'all don't have to fuss and fight and not get along and not understand each other. Have some darn fun. You're in Jamaica, you're on vacation. Have some fun. Drink, have a shot, and relax. So they're having girl talk. So Quad opens up about her relationship. Now remember, seasons ago, that was their complaint with Quad, is that she didn't open up. She would be on set with them. She didn't want to be, she wasn't their friend. She just showed up to film, but she wasn't sharing. Okay. So she's talking now, honey. So she's telling them that a king wants her to cater to him more. And they like, what you mean? And she said, I used to cook every day, but I don't cook like that no more. You know. And so, Heavenly is like, you ain't supposed to be cooking for no man that ain't your husband. Don't be doing wifely duties for him. It's like, okay, girl, you're right. Okay. But calm down. Let her finish. Let her talk. And so she said, well, he wanted to get married. We was at his condo one day. He just wanted to go to the courthouse, but she didn't. We know that. Quad wants all the things. She wants all the beauty that comes with a wedding. She ain't fooling us. So her thing was, what she told us, is that she wanted more structure in her life. She wanted them to plan their lives together first. And so ever since then, it seems like King has shut down the marriage conversation. It's like she had one shot and that was it. She didn't take it, so now she's not a bride. And so the ladies are asking, why isn't she talking marriage? Why is it just a baby, a baby, a baby, a baby? And I was like, because she wants the baby. She wants him to be her baby daddy. Did y'all forget that she was married already? There comes a time, this woman's in her late 40s. She's hitting on 50. That stuff is behind her. She's done marriage before. She needs that baby ASAP because the clock is a ticking. The clock is a ticking. And these women are talking to her like she's maybe 15 years younger, like she ain't never been married, like she been dating him for 10 years. It's like Quad is a grown woman. She's been married. She wants kids. She decided this at this age, late age, that she wants to have kids. What is the deal? What is the deal? And honey, Curtis gonna give us the deal, okay? So she says she loves him enough and wants to have his kids. She said marriage ain't even my goal no more. Right. So it's the last night in Jamaica. This was a quick trip, wasn't it, y'all? Were they only there 3 days? How long were they gonna be in Jamaica? 4 days? It seemed like they have not been in but 2. So everyone's getting ready for dinner. Dinner's gonna be outside like normal. It's a buffet style. And while they're getting ready, the couples are discussing their massages, like Cecil and Simone. She's like, did you get a massage? He was like, yeah. She said, I could tell because you gritted from ear to ear. He was like, you see how shiny my legs are? So he asked her, well, did they rub your booty? And she was like, honey, I wish they would have rubbed my booty. And they laugh at each other because they don't take each other serious. They have a good time. It's been 29 years. Enjoy your person, okay? So, ciao. Now here we go. Here come these questions, but it's in like a game show style. So it was light. It was fun. No one got hurt. No one got the cussing and the fussing. No back and forth and back again. Thank God. Okay, then a counselor comes up for the men. So the women had to go. Bye bye. Bye bye, baby. The ladies had to leave. Let the men have their therapy. Okay. So even though the men are sitting there like, men, I don't want to talk to him. My childhood is fine. I ain't trying to be emotional. I'm a man. So as Simone is walking away, she telling King, tap into your chauvinistic side. I ain't no chauvinistic man. Yes, you are. Eugene is like, Simone, you're tapping into our therapy time. Goodbye, hun. So the ladies, Heavenly and the ladies, they're having a good time talking about wanting to slap the mess out of their men when they sleep for whatever reasons. Because if you've been married long enough, you do be looking at them when they sleep and like, just look at them. Just look at them. And you just want to just smack the mess out of them because they just in a vulnerable place and you can get them real good without them seeing it coming. Sometimes, yeah, it warrants that. You don't do it, but you do think it. So Jackie was like, yes, I do want to do that to Curtis. I'm like, yeah, I understand. He's kind of embarrassing. Simone is like, oh, absolutely. Simone was like, if I was 6'3", I would take my shot. So then Heavenly asked the ladies, do they ever think about another man biblically? And it was like, of course. When you see actors in movies and singers, I mean, what woman don't like Denzel Washington and Idris Elba and Brad Pitt, and Matthew McConaughey? I mean, and what's the one? Jason, what's his name? Jason used to be married to Lisa Bonet. Is that her real name? No. Yeah. Something. Jason Moe. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. So yes, all married people have eyes. What man did want Halle Berry? Halle Berry, Beyonce, Rihanna, Janet Jackson. I mean, anybody else I'm missing? Put it down in the chat. So yes, 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 they're all saying. Then they speak about their feet and getting an OnlyFans page. I'm like, child, contestant says, honey, her foot is plus size, and she has thought about charging $39.95 for people to come on her OnlyFans page and see her feet. I said, Scott, you better get a hold of contestant child. She's trying to get out off the chain. She reel her back in, Scott. So Simone shares about her marriage and what she's had to work on. And she's like, which is their communication, of course. And she says she tries different tones with him instead of always yelling, because y'all always saying she's yelling. And I'm like, because Simone, you always yelling. Shoot, Scott said when they were playing the game that you the loud one. He was like, I didn't say no names, just on the boat, on the boat. That's what he remembers when Honey Simone was hollering to the top of her lungs. So yeah, she said, I don't yell at them all the time. And so the men are talking how they feel so blessed to have been able to find their person and marry their person. And of course, Eugene says, honey, he was built to deal with Toya Bush Harris. I was like, Eugene is so sprung. Yes, Eugene, we get it. We know. We love it. Love it for both of you. But honey, Eugene is sprung. And it's cute. He's supposed to be. I get it. But honey, he is what he is, child. So Mimi is telling the ladies that her and Steve had issues early on in their marriage. I was like, yeah, because if he was playing football still professionally, he was cheating, I'm sure. And so now their struggle is their son being on the spectrum. She says special needs parenting has a burnout, and the burnout is real. And she just needs her husband to support her and just give her reassurance that everything is going to be okay. You just don't know with raising a special needs child. You don't know what that comes with, right? You don't know the outcome. How will he be at 18? Will he be able to be independent? Will he always have to live with you? Will you always have to include you, your husband, plus one? Will he have a full life? Will he be able to find love? Have kids, conquer, succeed. You just want these things. And then you just want him to be protected, and you want the world to see him as how you see him. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. It's just that extra care of protection and love you have for him, because it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And she almost brought me to tears, to where I even prayed for their family, because that has got to be hard. Okay, let's move on. Damon also discussed with the men that he's having a hard time. So this is what Eugene has noticed, the change in Damon's behavior. He's having a hard time because he doesn't get to see his son. Their son has cut them off. And besties, do you know anything? Is there I heard that the son was gay. And Dr. Heavenly probably was giving him I don't know. It seems like we shouldn't even be dealing with this in 2026. Filming was probably in 25, but we shouldn't be dealing with this. So what is it? Is he is he on the illegal medication? Is he both? It has to be one or the other. What's going on with him? I don't like this. Oh gosh, what happened? So Damon misses his son nonetheless. No matter what's going on, why it happened, Damon misses his son. And I'm sad for him now. And so he said, it's just to the point where I'm at my breaking point. It's to the point. Newsflash, we have a message for you, Eugene Harris? Eugene Harris. The next line is for you, homeboy. Are you listening? Okay. Damon said with his whole chest, oh yeah, if I had any enemies, now would be the time to test his gangster, Eugene. He is hanging on by a thread. He is not cool, not in a good place. He's about to crash out. He will throw all this water off the beach. You hear me? He will blow all this sand off this beach and have this whole beach looking like a parking lot, a playground. Play if you want to. The ladies, ask Angel, how's Bernard doing? Because Contessa is so invested. Child, even Scott had to ask her, what are you doing when they united back together? And she was like, hey, Bernard, how you doing, sweet? She called him cute or something. How you doing, cutie pie? I'm like, girl, what? Now, wait a minute. Now, Bernard is okay. He ain't fine and he ain't cutie pie. He would just, a hello would be nice. That's all he needs. Hi, Bernard. That's it. Just acknowledge him. Because Bernard ain't said nothing since he been in Jamaica. He hasn't spoke to anybody. We just heard him say, hey, I'm Bernard, when he got on the van. We ain't heard him talk since. So, child, Angel's like, oh, he's having fun. He's with the guys. He's here. Yes, he's here. And so, Heavenly, y'all got the same room? She's like, no, he has his own room. And Heavenly's like, that's right. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Let that work for you. Don't give them nothing for free. That's right. So Jackie is like, you gonna invite your friend here to Jamaica? Y'all just friends? Yeah, okay. Tell that to somebody that's gonna believe you. Toya was like, so you gonna bring him here and you making it seem like y'all just homies. Okay, you think that's what we're thinking? I'm like, Toya, you already went down this road with her and it didn't end well. Leave Angel and Bernard alone, girl. Because honey, Angel said when they get back from Jamaica, they gonna just be friends. They ain't working on nothing. We not gonna spin the block no more. The block is blocked. We detour back to somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. I said, oh, Angel was listening to me last week when I told her, girl, you about to hit on 40. Let this go. How many times do you need to spin the block to know that you shouldn't be on the block? How many times, Angel, you got it going on, honey? You have it all going on, honey. And they say the men are real sassy now, so you might need to just enjoy your life alone. And that's not a bad thing. But I mean, because she's been married already, she'll find somebody when you're not even looking. Because that body is banging. And I know I probably sound like, if I was a dude, I want to holler. Yeah, I said it. There you go. I said it. Let's move on. King, y'all getting married? He was like, no, but y'all all ask more than she do. Y'all care more about us getting married than she do. Y'all tripping harder. Curtis is like, well, you're trying to have a kid. You got to do things decent and in order by the Bible in order for things to happen. So what he's alluding to is pretty much saying you ain't going to get no baby because you're not married. The IVF will not work because you're not married. Y'all playing husband and wife. Ooh, child, King took that well. I'm so happy. And I'm sitting here like, Curtis, you do know when you get King on a beach, he has a tendency when he takes that shirt, when he unbutton that shirt, he ready to fight. You saw him run up on Gregory. You better chill out, homie. But I guess King can't climb that tree. Child, Curtis is tall. Curtis is tall. He was like, yeah, y'all talk about having all this bumping and grinding, and that's a no-no. Curtis, I know you ain't talking. Committing adultery is a no-no too. Oh, Curtis, committing adultery is a no-no too. King don't say, don't start with that. We doing what works for us. And then he said in his confessional, Curtis, of all people, I'm like, I'm with you, King. I'm with you, Kirk King. He said Curtis got a lot of nerves. He needs to do some self-reflection. Adulterer. And he needs to hold himself accountable. Adulterer. And even he asked Curtis, you do things by the book? Because Curtis is preaching to Kirk King, okay? So Kirk asked him, now I'm calling King Kirk. King asked Curtis, do you sin? Do you do everything by the book? No, I don't do everything by the book. Yes, I sin like everybody else every day of my life. But I ask for forgiveness and I move forward. Is that what the Bible told you to do? What Bible y'all reading? What Bible are y'all reading? Where you can just, and King said he planned on asking for forgiveness for tomorrow. I'm like, that ain't how that works. Let's move on because this is not, now y'all playing. Now y'all playing. Curtis, you shut up. How about that? That is a grown man you talking to. He is not a child. And he's not your child. Does Curtis have any kids of his own? Because how you going to tell some you're married and y'all don't have kids? Now, did you not want kids? Do you shoot blanks? Did you have a bicycle accident as a kid and hurt your balls on the bar and you blank? I'm just asking. Y'all don't have kids. Y'all married. What's your problem? Jackie can have kids. So anyway, Curtis, shut up. How about that? Shut it up. So Quad was talking about how she shares that she's breaking herself down for King. And I guess she's talking about the IVF process and all that comes with it, because she's trying to have this baby for him. But she's not really having it for him. She's having it for herself. He don't want that baby. She does. So Heavenly tells her that he needs her. She don't need him. And she's giving him too much without being his wife. Do you love him enough? Because you know everybody gonna disappoint you. Do you love him enough to deal with him? She said, yes, I understand that. The love is strong, but I will be hurt if it doesn't work. Here are the signs that we know they are about to break up. Ever since I found out that they were broken up, their confessionals have really been telling on themselves. Have you guys been watching King's facial expressions, the things they say, how they talk at each other? They're confrontational, they're back and forth and back again. They're arguing, they're nicking, they're nitpicking, they're nagging each other. And it wasn't that before we knew they broke up. It's like, wow, just like Heavenly said, keep watching. It will tell on itself. Keep watching. She wasn't lying. She wasn't lying. Eugene tells Damon that he was mad last night. That's why he left. He had to put his own self on a timeout. Damon was like, I understand. I get that. I respect that. Eugene says, we're similar. We want to protect our families. We don't want nobody disrespecting our wives. I don't want to say nothing bad to you, Damon. Here go Damon. Don't say nothing about my son. Don't say nothing about my son. Don't go there. I will get angry. Don't cross the line. Eugene tells him he was mad at how Heavenly was disrespectful to Toya, and that's why he left. I said, nah, bro. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, boo. Eugene, you mad at Heavenly for talking about the size of your peen. You mad at that. You ain't been right ever since. Let's call a thing, Dr. Eugene. You mad about that. Oh, that ticked you off. You want to punch Heavenly in the mouth. You want to punch her in the eye. You want to thump her upside her head, push her from behind, kick her in her face. Okay, that's enough. I'm going too far. But y'all get it. Eugene mad. Heavily crossed the line. So Eugene just tells him I was mad at how Heavenly was disrespectful to Toya. I didn't say nothing to Heavenly. I didn't say nothing about her. I ain't said nothing. Damon was like, and I respect you for that. Eugene says he got the same G code as him about his wife. Don't talk about my wife. We good? I never do. They shake. And Damon, let me tell you how nice, how wholesome, how genuine Damon is. He has somebody hold his champagne flute because he wanted to give Eugene a hug with both of his arms. That man is in pain. That's why he's blowing off Heavenly's behavior. That's why he's not invested in Heavenly running for office, because Heavenly is probably using this campaign as a deflection. Maybe the fallout with her son has her, amped up to want to change and not let this happen to others. And maybe there's something she can do. And I get it, but it could be also occupying more time. I don't know, because I would think a dentist is super busy. I would think she was busy as a dentist. But anyhow, because everybody goes to her. Everybody on YouTube goes to Heavenly. So y'all, they made up. It was almost a tearjerker. I feel so bad for Dr. Damon. The G code is understood. They hugged it out. No fuss, no file. That's why I don't understand the title of this episode. Paradise Troubles? No, Paradise Problems. So good job. Good trip, Toya and Eugene. Good job. Good job. Clap, 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 clap. So Curtis and King, I caught that they hugged too. Because Curtis, you needed to go hug King because you was doing too much. You tried the little Bible thing and it didn't land. So moving forward. Back in Atlanta, Jackie been blowing up Quad because Curtis, all this he been saying about the IVF ain't working because they're not married. Jackie is Quad's doctor. She is and friend. So she's calling her, blowing her up because Curtis is just talking mess. King and Quad are at the house talking. King don't want to get married. He says he needs more appreciation and consideration. Quad said she screams her love to the top of her lungs for him. He said, scream it or show it. I said, wow. Wow. Don't talk about it, be about it, Quad. Woo. He feels Quad beats up on him a lot. He feels like he's her enemy or she treats him like he's her enemy. She's like, He says she is very ungrateful. She says she tries. He says, no, you don't. And he's exhausted. And baby, next week is the season finale. I said, already? All right. Okay. Then I guess we go into a 3-part reunion. Oh, we do not need 3 parts. We do not need, I repeat, we do not need 3 parts. Please don't make us suffer through 3 parts of a reunion. Andy Cohen, stop it. Make it 2. Can we go down to 2? I really think the reunion could just be 90 minutes if you do it right and get to it. If he does it like he did Potomac, because he was moving along, he wouldn't let nobody fuss, fight for too long. You question, ask, answer. Next. If he keep it flowing like that, we could keep it moving. But 2, not 3. But we already know it's going to happen. The besties, please drop down in the comments. It's your turn to talk. I want to hear from you. How did you like this episode? I loved it. It was top tier. 10s across the board. Fun. No fighting. Was laughing. Cried a little bit. Loved it. All right, besties. Don't forget, hype, like, hype, hype. Can y'all hear what I'm saying? Hype the video. If you don't know how, in the comment section, scroll the comment section to the left and you're able to hype. Press the hype button. So like, hype, comment, subscribe, and make sure that notification bell is on. And I'll be back with another recap. Finally get a break. I'll be back Thursday with Beverly Hills. Bye, besties.